because when he left that parking structure, he nearly struck a police officer. Police officers were out of their vehicles on foot in for foot pursuit. He came blaring out of that parking structure, and you can see now we're westbound. We'll work on a street here just into the LAPD Rampart area, and that looks like he might be turning on. We'll give you a street here in a second here. I need a mixed bias, guys, and we are back northbound, and look at the in and out of traffic, the wrong side of the road. I'm having a hard time hearing you because we're working on IFB issues, so if you're trying to ask me questions I can't answer right now. We're just going to stay with this as long as we can. This is going to end very badly very soon here if he continues at these high rates of speeds. It looks like he's going to get back on freeway here. Jay, if you can give me a location over the radio, that would be helpful. As we continue here, southbound on Flower here, we're being the 110 freeway. It looks like we're going to try to get back on the 110 freeway going possibly northbound, or is that southbound? We're going southbound 110 freeway. We can see that he's cutting off that Metro line bus, but very dangerous pursuit. And we understand that there may have been an officer-involved shooting right when we were overhead, when he was in that area, that parking structure, when he nearly tried to hit that officer. But now we're on the HOV, the carpool lane here, as we go southbound on the 110 freeway. The suspect going back into the South Los Angeles area. An extremely dangerous pursuit here. Very, very high speed, guys. Very high speeds, guys.
Can you hear us now, JT? I don't know if your IFB situation is
okay, guys, we're going to stay with you here again.
Okay,
we've got no IFB, so we're going to work with this. Going southbound, and then the HOV lanes, extremely high rate of speed. Now we've got a suspect that has been shot at by police officers, and he's also wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. Uncertain who is in pursuit right now as far as which agent. We know it's LAPD, obviously, but wondering if it's 77 Division still in pursuit. We know we had Central Division officers, and we absolutely had metropolitan units involved in the pursuit here. They are on the upper deck, the HOV carpool lanes, going extremely high rates of speed. But wow, I don't know if you saw the speeds we were doing in the downtown area. We saw people running when those shots were fired in that construction area. We saw construction workers running for their lives away from this guy. And then we saw that suspect just emerge out from that area. We're trying to get clearance into the airspace here. He's doing about 70, 80 miles an hour as he continues southbound here. The CHP is being notified right now to help assist with this pursuit. We're trying to get clearance into the LAX airspace right now, and we're working on that as he pulls away from us southbound. But a very dangerous pursuit. Officer-involved shooting for suspects that were wanted in an earlier shooting, an ADW shooting. We're not sure the circumstances of that shooting or where it happened, but you can see this suspect very, very desperate to get away.
Wow, you can absolutely see that, JT, and you can see he's on the express lane, so that's why you didn't have as much traffic in those lanes, but now getting stuck in this traffic. Wow, this looks like it is going to come to a really bad conclusion, the way this person is zigzagging all the way across all these lanes, Alan.
He hit the front end of that truck, and it looks like he's going to be
getting back off on Gage. We're working our way back up to it. We move pretty quick. We're going to get there very quickly, but you can see one of the LAPD units finally getting behind it out there, and I don't mean that in any kind of cut. This car moving so fast, so recklessly this afternoon. Officers having a hard time trying to catch up with him. Right now, though, working his way through a deep puddle right there. LAPD's helicopter, they're overhead. We're going to catch up to it. Very dangerous pursuit this afternoon in the Los Angeles area for sure. To the west, to the west, to the west, to the west, to the west. Jason, go to the west. Jason, go to the west, to the west, to the west. Jason, go to the west. Whoa! Whoa! Look at these speeds. And gunfire from the vehicle. Well, he's got not a lot of traffic, but he's still driving very recklessly out here. You know, the word knucklehead really comes to mind. I hate to use words like that, but look at this guy going against traffic, running red lights, officers from LAPD right behind it. He is on gauge. He is westbound on gauge. Again, we're dealing with LAX, trying to work around him. You know, they have to keep safety in mind, as long as so do we up here in Sky 9. There is no doubt about that, but sometimes these calls start to get so tedious. We're working our way now, getting back into the game as it would be. LAPD still right behind this vehicle. If you can imagine it, seems to be tame driving from what we saw earlier on. Sharp turn right there. There you go, passing Western, and you know what? That's what I'm talking about on that vehicle. Newer Mercedes. You know, I don't want to make a commercial for Mercedes, but good car, very high tech and a lot of performance. And right now, this is probably keeping some of these other people safe out here this afternoon, as this lunatic is driving out here trying to keep LAPD at bay, and he's kind of doing a good job. But while he's doing that, he's endangering so many other lives. Working against traffic. Here's another one against traffic. Looks like we're making a southbound turn. I'll get you that street right there. Then you can see this car. I would guess that's an E-Class coupe right there. Very, very fast car indeed. LAPD, but you know what? The helicopter's overhead. We are just praying that it does not. Whoa! Whoa! That's what we were worried about. And look at that. Solid collision. There's a whoa! Causing another collision right there. People trying to get away, seeing this accident, that car coming to a stop right now. But you know, with that type of damage, that type of attitude, this guy better just do exactly as he's told. Officers from LAPD, they got their guns out. We got to worry about those poor people that were in that accident. We're on Van Ness in the South Los Angeles area. Crazy crash out here. And that second crash, that basically was somebody probably watching what was going on. Hands out the window. But you know what, buddy? It is too late. That car, he's stopped. He's going into custody for sure. I'm hoping nobody else was hurt. Officers have their weapons out for sure. We're going to keep an eye on this all the way to the end. As soon as that guy is out of that vehicle, I need to move that camera, see if those other people are hurt. Those were some violent crashes out there this afternoon. Still being very defiant. Well, we can see this suspect right there doing as he was told. Was very defiant out there in the beginning when the officers first got that car pulled over. You know, let's be very clear about this. He did not stop. That car gave up the ghost. After those violent collisions, that car finally coming to a stop out here. Now he's laying down in the road. He's going into custody. You know, ADW, that's a very dangerous suspect. And you know what? This person doing some extremely dangerous things out here. You can take a look. You can see officers from LAPD. They've still got their weapons out, and of course, you know, you've got that vehicle. They've still got some guns on that as well. They just got to be sure that there's nobody else inside that car. Right now, though, that car is still going to be very, very, very solid vehicle. But right now, one suspect in custody. And, you know, taking a look off of here, a number of officers still have not taken this guy into custody. You know, all that's going to come up later on. I have to go and show you this. I know that guy is not in custody. Officers from LAPD doing what they can right now to get an innocent person out of this flipped over car. They're actually working their way, trying to bust out that windshield. You know what? These are officers from LAPD. They are not firefighters, but you know what? It says it right on the door, to serve and protect. And right now they're trying to save this person, an injured person inside this vehicle right here, a civilian, when that car flipped over. This is just one of probably 4, maybe more vehicles that we saw involved in this crash this afternoon. There's another car right there. You've got people on the side of the road, and of course that one is still on its bizarre pursuit, and for sure we probably never saw one of those happen live, especially. Right now, though, that car, they're still clearing it. That suspect being cuffed. Other officers waiting for ambulance and other medics to show up out here as they're working to get somebody out of that car that's laying on its side out here on Van Ness in the South Los Angeles area. Copy. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You know, the power of blue. They're trying to move it. You know, we don't know exactly what's going on down there. Maybe perhaps that person's pinned and they need to move that vehicle to get that person out. You know, it is just a shame when you see an innocent person just going about their business out here in the city when their car gets clobbered like that. There they go. There's that person. There's probably the driver. And it looks like, just by their attitude, that's the only person inside that vehicle. Got him out through the windshield. You know, it must be some scary moments for sure for that person now out. Our boys in blue out there doing what they can to, you know, help the public after this crazy pursuit crash. There's another one of the vehicles out there. You know, when it happened, you know, it just happened so quickly. I counted like 4 collisions while this car was barreling around. There's the other ones. They're right there. Those persons just trying to get out of the way when that accident happened. And of course, the actual suspect's vehicle now being searched. That suspect in custody this afternoon. You know, these guys out here, LAPD, making it happen, trying to keep people safe the best they can. You know, very dangerous suspect out here, shooting suspect as we understand it, now in custody.
You remember that pursuit from yesterday came to a sudden and destructive end. The suspect didn't get much further yesterday and gave up near Van Ness and 75th Street in South L.A. 6 people were injured. The most seriously hurt was a woman who was trapped in the car that flipped onto its side. An officer was also hit with flying glass as he helped free that driver.
Well, one day after a wild high-speed chase came to a crashing end, a victim of that crash is still recovering in the hospital.
CBS 2's Amy Johnson has new details.
Pushing his way right between that bus.
It was a wild pursuit heading down the 110 freeway and onto city streets Wednesday afternoon. Police after the driver of this white Mercedes, believed to be a shooting suspect, and allegedly fired a shot at officers during the 22-minute chase.
It does not. Whoa! Whoa!
Police have ID'd the driver as 24-year-old Tyree Francis. He was already on parole from Susanville, California. He didn't stop for police until the Mercedes slammed into a number of cars, flipping this 2010 Hyundai driven by Angelina Lofton. Officers had to pull her from the car.
Very scary, yeah.
Lofton is still hospitalized with cuts and bruises and a broken arm. Her son didn't want to go on camera but told us it was a frightening ordeal, but his mother is doing better.
She's feeling a lot better.
When the Mercedes wouldn't go any further, Francis threw his hands up and surrendered. Because Francis was on parole when he was arrested yesterday, he's currently being held with no bail. In downtown LA, Amy Johnson, CBS 2 News.
Because when he left that parking structure, he nearly struck a police officer. Police officers were out of their vehicles on foot in foot pursuit. He came blaring out of that parking structure, and you can see now we're westbound. We'll work on a street here just into the LAPD Rampart area, and that looks like he might be turning on. We'll give you a street here in a second here. I need a mixed minus, guys, and we are back northbound, and look at the in and out of traffic, the wrong side of the road. I'm having a hard time hearing you because we're working on IFB issues, so if you're trying to ask me questions I can't answer right now, we're just going to stay with this as long as we can. This is going to end very badly very soon here if he continues at these high rates of speeds. It looks like he's going to get back on freeway here. Jay, if you can give me a location over the radio, that would be helpful. As we continue here, southbound on Flower here, we're being the 110 freeway. It looks like we're going to try to get back on the 110 freeway going possibly northbound, or is that southbound? We're going southbound 110 freeway. We can see that he's cutting off that Metro line bus, but very dangerous pursuit. And we understand that there may have been an officer-involved shooting right when we were overhead, when he was in that area, that parking structure, when he nearly tried to hit that officer. But now we're on the HOV, the carpool lane here, as we go southbound on the 110 freeway. The suspect going back into the South Los Angeles area. An extremely dangerous pursuit here. Very, very high speed, guys. Very high speeds, guys.
Can you hear us now, JT? I don't know if your IFB situation is
Okay, guys,
fixed.
we're going to stay with you.